Witam Państwa serdecznie ponownie w ostatniej części naszej prezentacji, naszego spotkania, naszego szkolenia, naszego dzielenia się wiedzą. Myślę, że po polsku ostatnią część mogę zatytułować dość groźnie Ojciec Chrzestny. Naszym gościem będzie Ojciec Chrzestny platformy ePMP, Ojciec Chrzestny platformy cnVision, Sakit Ahmed, General Manager ePMP and cnVision Business w Cambium Network. I would like to welcome on stage Sakit Ahmed. Hello.
Hi, thank you.
Sakit, I told people in Poland you are the godfather of ePMP business.
No, that's not simply true. It's a big team. We all do our part, but thank you for that introduction.
Okay, please show us what will be in the future with ePMP and cnVision. Let's start the presentation.
Sure. Make sure audio is good and everybody can see me. So
yes, absolutely, everything works perfect.
Great. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you everyone for joining this virtual event, and I'm very excited that after a very long time, getting to do a presentation to our customer base in Poland, which has been an exciting market for the ePMP product line. I think it's been probably 6, 7, 8 years before last time I was there doing a presentation, and I think a lot has happened. So very excited to see how well the product has done and how it's helping our customers in Poland. Needless to say, many people on the call are probably curious as to how we are thinking about ePMP today as well as the future. So I went ahead and wanted to share a slide that kind of shows you how we have been thinking about ePMP, how it started, which many people know, where we are today, and most importantly, how we see the future. So as many customers here know, that ePMP product is really about leveraging the IEEE 802.11 standard chipset, which gives us a economical base, and we do a lot of proprietary software on top of that to create the ePMP platform. So as you know, we started with ePMP 1000, 11N based solution, but with a very deterministic protocol, GPS sync, and simply put, very well performing system in the market. And it was all about dealing with self-interference. Needless to say, we also realized that external interference was as big a problem as any. So we launched ePMP 2000 with filtering, some uplink beam steering, and ePMP 2000 became a very powerful base station, serving hundreds of thousands of customers around the world, even in this unlicensed spectrum. So ePMP 2000 has done really well. As we moved forward, we looked at 11AC, and with 11AC, you had the Wave 1 and Wave 2. We did not do anything with Wave 1, and in the next slide, I will show you why we chose to develop product only around Wave 2. But with Wave 2 and multi-user MIMO, we started launching the ePMP 3000 base station, which today is our flagship product in the ePMP line. And in at a Cambium as a whole, as you will see in the next slide, is our investment, our strategic belief is that multi-user MIMO is the answer to achieving the spectral efficiency that we need in unlicensed spectrum. Higher modulations also help, but higher modulations by itself is simply not the answer. So ePMP 3000 starts that baseline of a 4x4 multi-user MIMO system. And I'm sure many of you are already starting to use the product. And as you have subscribers that are AC, you start to see the advantages of MU-MIMO, which I believe Sebastian also covered in an earlier presentation. As we move forward away from 3000, as many of you are already hearing, 802.11ax, Wi-Fi 6 becomes the next standard. What I wanted to convey in this presentation is, if you look at the story of ePMP, we were very determined to make sure that there is always compatibility between subscribers and base stations. So when 11N subscribers were deployed, we launched ePMP 3000, and we had compatibility for all existing subscribers. We had some challenges in the early days, but we are very committed to making sure compatibility is always there. And if you think about it, we are the only company that has done anything in terms of compatibility with non-Cambium products. And so our belief that subscribers should always be compatible to the next generation access point makes the migration very easy. And with that in mind, as you move towards Wi-Fi 6, 802.11ax, we are also committed to having that backwards compatibility to subscribers that you deploy today. But one of the main points that I want to convey is that if you deploy 11AC subscribers today, not only are you going to see that multi-user MIMO benefit, but you're actually building your network to take advantage of Wi-Fi 6's 8x8 5 gigahertz multi-user MIMO product. It's still ways out. It's not coming next year. It's probably the year after. We are working on it, but because of compatibility, because of the complexity, it will take some time. So today the focus should be deploying the AC subscribers, deploying 3000, and knowing with confidence that when we have our ePMP 4000, every subscriber that you deploy today will be compatible. A little bit about our vision for ePMP 4000 is that we are leveraging some of the latest and greatest standard, but in the same time we're creating proprietary solutions around it. So the same advantages that you see with ePMP 3000, you'll see it in the 4000. It is going to be an 8x8 multi-user product. We're focused early on to have different types of antennas on it, sector antenna as well as MU-MIMO horn antennas. So there's a lot of thinking going on in how to make that platform a very powerful platform. So that's what I wanted to share on the Wi-Fi 6-based 4000. But again, just to reemphasize, today's product is the 3000. Today's product is the 3000 subscribers. These subscribers you need to install today so then you can take advantage of the future access point. Let's move ahead to the next slide. As I kind of mentioned, that at a Cambium level, if you look at the 802.11 standard roadmap, if you see it started with 64 QAM and then 256 QAM and now with 1024 QAM, some people in the industry believe that, hey, higher modulation products are great, but if you want higher modulation, you have to have very high SNR requirements, and that's not really that easily achievable in unlicensed spectrum. So we are really believing in the fact that multi-user MIMO as well as the higher order modulation together gives you the most optimal solution. So contrary to looking at just a modulation story, multi-user MIMO and massive MIMO becomes very key. And to spend a few minutes, if you think about Wi-Fi 6, right after Wi-Fi 6 there's a Wi-Fi 7 standard or 802.11.BE. There you start talking about 16x16 multi-user MIMO. So there's a very nice roadmap that the IEEE is doing. And as long as we on the ePMP team can continue leveraging the standard but creating a proprietary solution on top of it, I feel very strongly that our roadmap and our opportunity in the next 5, 6, 10 years on unlicensed spectrum, whether it's 5 gigahertz or 6 gigahertz, is very, very strong and very, very optimistic. Okay, moving ahead, I'll talk a little bit on the ePMP 3000. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it, but needless to say, this is the flagship product today. 802.11ac Wave 2. Again, all these subscribers that go along with this would be future protected or compatible with the next generation AP. I'm not going to spend too much on it, but I will show something, a throughput chart that I'm kind of excited about that I want to emphasize again and again. This is a North America customer here with about 50 subscribers, all Force 300-25. He's running in a 40 megahertz channel. As you can see, there are times when his peak throughput is hitting almost 240 megabits per second. And what you see in the green line is the multi-user downlink. To me, when I think about ePMP and ePMP 3000, this is what I want to see in an operator's network. And this can only happen as you increase the number of ACSMs in your network. So backwards compatibility is great. But remember, backwards compatibility is to make sure you're able to do things over time. But if you use 11 NSMs with ePMP 3000, you really are not seeing the potential of this platform. Because every network that you run out there, if you're able to see that multi-user downlink green increase and increase, that means you're really getting the advantages of the ePMP 3000 and multi-user MIMO, because that is spectral efficiency that you cannot achieve any other way. So this is a graph. That's why it's kind of, I like seeing it. I like to show it. I want to see more customers reporting results like this and showing the multi-user gain. I think that's the real story on the 3000 platform. Moving ahead to the next slide, and before I go to the slide, I just want to highlight one more time that as you saw, point to multipoint in Wi-Fi 6 is challenging. It will take some time. But to give you confidence that we are working on it, we have the product, which is the a point-to-point product in AX in 5 gigahertz, which will go up to about 6135, which will have some additional frequencies for you. But this is a 1024 QAM supporting product that will be coming out in early 2021. But this is a very latest product line, and it helps us really understand and learn about the Wi-Fi 6 technology and leveraging that for long distance interference resilience point-to-point product. What we learn here, we can always apply in point-to-multipoint. But some of the results of this product early on, we're seeing, at 2 kilometer distances as high as 812 megabits of throughput, because the OFDMA and the Wi-Fi 6 efficiencies shows you here, for example, your downlink, 97% of traffic is going on 1024 QAM 5.6. 99% of the traffic is going on in the uplink in 1024 QAM. So we're seeing that as you go to the newer generation stuff, the SNR requirements are getting a little better. So you're able to achieve 256 QAM. You're able to achieve 64 QAM 3 dB sooner. So this is very, very exciting for us, that this product is going to be a strong contender in the point-to-point platform, but at the same time, build a baseline for future products. Moving ahead, I just want to kind of refresh everyone that, when you think about the ePMP portfolio, we've been working very hard for the last 3-4 years, creating a various types of solutions that could fit anybody. So whether it's a micro pop, whether it's a 3000L, as you can also see, we're very paying close attention to how the market has shifted from very wide sector antennas to horn antennas. So RF Elements has been a very key partner for us. So we're adapting to their ecosystem. And then Omnis, some cases Omnis become a play. IT Elite is a company, KP Performance out of the US. We're doing Omnis with MU-MIMO as well for those unique situations. So there's a very, very nice portfolio here for different deployment scenarios. And of course, on a subscriber module perspective, you have everything from your 13 dBi to 19 dBi to 25 dBi. Now, we feel this covers more or less your short distance, middle distance, and long distance. Needless to say, in some cases, you may want something that's 30 dBi dish, where you can use a connectorized module. But we feel it's a pretty good portfolio in terms of what we can offer. Having said that, I will say that we have gotten feedback about price points, and costs of these subscriber modules. And all I can say is we're working also to see what we can do on that front in creating more cost-effective products. A little bit more on when I talk about horn is this the dual horn antenna. The reason I want to spend a couple of extra seconds on this is that this is a custom product from us, and it is a dual horn MU-MIMO product. You'll notice the gain is not very high here at 12 dBi. That's a 60-degree dual sector, but it is designed to give you that MU-MIMO spread or the groupability to be very high. So when you think about that graph that you saw with the green throughput on multi-user gain, this is the type of antenna accessory that you attach to the ePMP 3000. And for short sectors, small cell radius, you get the advantages from an interference mitigation perspective from the horn. So very good front to back, very little side lobes, yet you're able to do multi-user MIMO. There's a simple case study that we have out of one of our friendly customers in Italy who was able to get some really high performance in that spectrum picture that you see, which is pretty horrendous in terms of how crowded that spectrum is. And I'm sure many of you have already seen that in your own networks. So dual horn comes very handy in that situation. So that is kind of what I wanted to cover on the ePMP side, and I'll move to cnVision. But there's a couple of comments I wanted to make also, or one important comment is that 6 gigahertz is a interesting frequency because, as you have heard, in North America, the FCC's opened up a very big chunk of spectrum for 6 gigahertz use. And we believe in Poland that up to 6.4 is also available. And possibly in EU, maybe even more spectrum will become available. All I can tell you is we're very, very committed to creating a 6 gigahertz solution based on 11AX. So it is going to happen. I won't comment on the timeline right now, but all you need to know is that the Cambium and ePMP family perspective, we are fully committed to a 6 gigahertz solution. Okay, with that, we'll shift gears a little bit to cnVision. And before I go to the actual slide, I just want to share some comments. Many people that have asked me over the last year about cnVision in the sense that, hey, why did you guys create cnVision? My idea here, and this is kind of important, is that cnVision, at the end of the day, the hardware, if you're familiar with ePMP, if you're very familiar with wireless, then you'll know that the hardware is more or less the same as what you would use for as an ISP or a wireless service provider. Having said that, what I have seen in my research is that there are many, many security integrators out there, or many opportunities for video cameras outdoors, where wireless is not necessarily always used. People choose fiber, people choose copper, or when they want to choose wireless, they're not so sure about it. So what we've done is we've taken the hardware, but we've created some very simplified user interface and some very interesting features with video management system integration, ONVIF integration, to really present a wireless platform that can open new markets. Now, this is important. cnVision's idea is it should be used in potentially new applications for security, video backhaul in outdoor environment. And I believe with COVID and whatnot, the security market may be coming back. There may be more cameras being deployed in municipalities in outdoor environments where a dedicated wireless backhaul is needed. Now, if you're very familiar with wireless, you're going to say, well, I'm just going to use ePMP. But there's an opportunity you're missing, which is that if you think about a typical video surveillance installation, the camera, the video management system, the lights, the switches, the cabling, the labor, all of that is a big cost part of the project. The actual connectivity part, i.e. the wireless portion, is probably pretty small. So you have an opportunity to upsell into that project. If you're buying a camera for $800 and selling it for $1,000 as part of the project, with cnVision, you could easily go sell cnVision and say, hey, this is purpose-built, this has special software, this has VMS integration, and increase the value of your sale for the project, and still be extremely competitive over somebody using fiber or copper. So that's how cnVision is an upsell opportunity because of its differentiation. So just wanted to highlight that, and to refresh everybody, our portfolio is very simple. It's still only 5 SKUs so far. There's a 6th SKU we're introducing. It's got the OnViv client integration for camera detection and replaying the stream for troubleshooting. And what you see on the very far right is that we basically have tested just about every camera out there with the OnViv side. And then on the VMS integration side, all the big names are in here, whether it's Axis or Avigilon and Milestone Genetec. You'll notice, and I've seen this come up many times. Sorry, I should also add that besides this list, we're also working on whether it's Indigo Vision or Panasonic Video Insight, etc. Bosch is another one we're working on. But I realized that, you know, guys like Hikvision and Dahua are very big. But what we have seen, and I've communicated to both of those companies, is that their video management system is not what I see as an open platform. It's been challenging to go and integrate with Dahua and Hikvision. So it's still in the funnel. We're still trying to open the door with them to get the integration done. But the list is continuing to grow. Hopefully at some point in the near future, we can still get the Hikvision Dahua VMS integration done. So that's kind of where we are on that front. And then speaking of the 6th SKU, this is something we're very, very excited about. This is launching shortly here, but this is a pole mount switch, essentially, a PoE out device. Form factor is the same as our Max-RP, or as you know, the Force 300-19, but it's 4 ports. It's about, it comes with a 60-watt power supply, so you have up to 45 watts of power available across the 3 ports, and it's all standard PoE. So you can connect up cameras, you can connect up security gateways, LoRa gateways, for example, that are PoE powered. And all of that data can be backhauled right from this device. So it's a very nice form factor, powerful in the sense that it's got enough wattage to cover most cameras. You can remotely turn on and off the ports, and does basic switching functionality. So all that traffic can be switched across the ports and sent through the backhaul. And it's ruggedized IP67, good temperature spec. But this is what I can imagine that can be a very strong complement to the cnVision portfolio, if you think about it, because you can have this be part of a municipality-wide Wi-Fi deployment. You can have it part of your security camera deployment, as well as a backhaul solution for another ePMP device, for that matter. So we're very excited about this solution as well. So this is kind of cnVision portfolio, very simple. Again, I want to reiterate the message, as I put in the slide before that, that it's an upsell opportunity. You take the VMS integration story, you take the camera integration story, and you position this into a security bid or a project. No other wireless solution, whether it's LigoWave, whether it's my good friends at Ubiquiti or Fluid Mesh or Silvernet out of the UK, no other wireless solution out there does any type of integration with video management systems today. So we believe that differentiation should enable you to position cnVision and open up new markets easily. And that's kind of my main message on the cnVision side. And with that, I will wrap this up, and I'm sure there will be lots of questions at the end, but that pretty much concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Sakit, for the very big volume of information, especially about the subscriber modules, about the new cnVision equipment. We think that your person will be very important on each next meeting in Poland, because
yes, hopefully.
You are the very important person for each operator. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for your presentation. Have a nice day, and see you again.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.